and our sisters, Yahuwah, that are constantly convicted, Yahuwah, falsely convicted of crimes they never committed, Yahuwah. We understand, Yahuwah, the purpose of these things. We understand, Yahuwah, the scourging of our lives. We don't throw the blame on anyone other than ourselves, Yahuwah, for falling from your Torah, Yahuwah. And even as the prophet Daniel repented, Yahuwah, and cried unto you with a loud voice, saying, Yahuwah, forgive us, Yahuwah, for the transgression of your people, Yahuwah. Forgive us, Yahuwah, for getting your Torah, Yahuwah. Forgive us, Yahuwah, for letting go of those things that would keep us, Yahuwah, those things that would hold us together as a people, Yahuwah. And as we continue to hold on to the arms of Yahuwah, the horns of the altar, Yahuwah, we Torah you for accepting our praise, Yahuwah. We Torah you for accepting our oblation, Yahuwah, for accepting, Yahuwah, the sacrifices that we render unto your Kodesh name, Yahuwah, even offering of ourselves as living sacrifices, Yahuwah, Kodesh and acceptable, Yahuwah. We thank you for our reasonable service, Yahuwah, to serve in your temple, Yahuwah, to lift up the standard, Yahuwah, amongst Yasharal, Yahuwah, to lift up the standard, Yahuwah, to sound the trumpet, Yahuwah, the trumpet of unity, Yahuwah, the trumpet, Yahuwah, of awareness, Yahuwah, that our people will sleep no longer, Yahuwah, that the eyes of the blinded, Yahuwah, will be open, Yahuwah, that the ears of the deaf, Yahuwah, will be unstopped, Yahuwah, and that those, Yahuwah, that are lame, Yahuwah, in their feet, lame, Yahuwah, in their spiritual feet, Yahuwah, will be able to walk and declare, Yahuwah, the greatness of you, our Mashiach, Yahuwah. We Torah you this day for deliverance, Yahuwah. We Torah you this day for healing, Yahuwah. We Torah you, Yahuwah, for that we are sent forth, Yahuwah, for our house ones, Yahuwah, for those, Yahuwah, in this time, Yahuwah, that are sick or shut in, Yahuwah, those that are going through physically. We Torah you, Yahuwah, for you said unto us that healing is the children's bread, Yahuwah. Healing is the children's lechem, Yahuwah. As we know, Yahuwah, that lechem is our daily portion, Yahuwah. We Torah you this day, for this is our portion, Yahuwah. This is our inheritance, Yahuwah. We inherit healing, Yahuwah, as we walk according to your statutes, as we walk commandments and according to your will, Yahuwah. We Torah you this day for everything that you're doing innocent to us as a people, Yahuwah. We Torah you for unity, Yahuwah. We Torah you, Yahuwah, for like-minded belief, Yahuwah. We Torah you for strength of those, Yahuwah, that have risen to the position of leadership, Yahuwah. Those that have taken up the mantle, Yahuwah, not of themselves, Yahuwah, but of your calling, Yahuwah, and that have stood in the gap, Yahuwah, to preach your truth, Yahuwah, that have stood between the porch and the altar, Yahuwah, crying out for the children of Yasharal, for the children of Yehuda, Yahuwah, that we might stand once again as an Akkad family, Yahuwah. We Torah you this night for everything that you're doing, Yahuwah. We Torah you for all those things that our ears shall hear, Yahuwah, and for all those things that our Ruach shall receive, Yahuwah. Keep us, lead us, and guide us, Yahuwah, and let it not slip from us, Yahuwah. Let not slip, Yahuwah, the things that we hear on tonight, Yahuwah. And charge it to us, Yahuwah, that we stand in integrity, that we stand, Yahuwah, in wisdom, that we stand, Yahuwah, in belief of all these things that we declare, Yahuwah. We know, Yahuwah, that our labor is not in vain. We know, Yahuwah, that the works that we testify, the works, Yahuwah, that we declare, Yahuwah, we know that these things, Yahuwah, are for the building up of your kingdom, for the declaring of your reign in this earth as it is in Shemayim, Yahuwah. We Torah you this day for wisdom. We Torah you, Yahuwah, for enlightenment, Yahuwah. We Torah you for revelation, Yahuwah, for revealing the secret things unto those that you are held, Yahuwah. We thank you for esteeming us, Yahuwah, with your wisdom, for esteeming us, Yahuwah, with the knowledge of your truth, Yahuwah. Now let us exemplify that truth. Let us not hold it in, Yahuwah, and hoard it all to ourselves, but let us share it, Yahuwah, in the ruach of wisdom, Yahuwah. As we continue to pour out to our brothers and our sisters in this belief, Yahuwah, iron sharpening iron, Yahuwah. Let it be unto us, Yahuwah, that we impart with wisdom, Yahuwah, that we help our brothers and sisters, Yahuwah, to gain wisdom, Yahuwah. For you said, Yahuwah, that you give wisdom freely and you upbraid not, Yahuwah. You don't hold it from us or charge it against us, Yahuwah, that we seek after wisdom, that we seek to know, Yahuwah, those hard things, Yahuwah, the hard things to the mind, Yahuwah. We Torah you for your Torah is easily entreated, Yahuwah, and easy to understand unto us, the chosen people, Yahuwah. As we take our calling, Yahuwah, and we take our responsibility, Yahuwah, the ability to respond to our environment, to the ability, Yahuwah, to respond to the work that you have given unto us, Yahuwah. We Torah you this day for the manifestation of the reality of your truth, Yahuwah. For your truth remains throughout all generations of Yasharal, Yahuwah. And as we stand witness of that through our lives, Yahuwah, and through our life living, we Torah you this night for everything that you're doing, for everything that you've done, and for everything that you are yet going to do. It is Bashem Yahushua HaMashiach that we do pray, and it is so.
And it is so.
Ask that everyone will stand to their feet and give you a hand clap of praise as we bring to your front the NYK Prison Worship Team at this time.
Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like him. With him we win, he's our champion. With him we can lose, we always win, he's our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one, and there is none like him. With him we win, he's our champion. With him we can lose, we always win, he's our champion. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands. We lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands. We lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing halal, halal Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallow, hallow Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallow, hallow Yahuwah, for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome one. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Another pre-Shabbat to enjoy another yom of preparation to prepare us for our time of rest. Is the other way. We appreciate Abba Yahuwah once again for allowing us to make it back to this place safe, without incident, accident, without hurt, harm, and danger, allowing you to be where you are. Layla, we appreciate you for tuning in and being with us to help us celebrate, to help us celebrate and commemorate a time of rest.
Yes.
We do appreciate Abba Yahuwah once again for allowing us to make it back to our appointed destination, to where we can come in with you, and celebrate and commemorate a time of rest. We're going to begin with the Baruch of the Torah. Then after the Baruch of the Torah, we're going to go into the reading of the 10 Commandments. And it is so.
And it is so.
Repeat with me. Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
I'm sorry, yo. Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
For all eternity.
For all eternity.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
And gave us his Torah.
And gave us his Torah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
And implanted eternal life within us.
And implanted eternal life within us.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Now we have the reading of the 10 Commandments. Which will be coming from Deuteronomy chapter 5, starting with verses 6 through 20, 21. And it is so.
And it is so.
I am Yahuwah, your power, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. That you shall know the power before me. You shall not make you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the mind beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself unto them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the hours upon the children until the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that harm me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Yahuwah, your power, and falsify it. For Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and enters it. Dalit, guard the Sabbath day to set it apart as Yahuwah, your power, has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Hey, esteem Yahweh your even as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power is about to give you. One, you shall not murder. Zain, neither shall you commit adultery. Ket, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. You, neither shall you desire your neighbor's issue, neither shall you covet your neighbor's bed, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words you were spoken to all your assembly in the mount, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them unto me. And it is so.
And it is so. Excuse me, chapter 6 of Devarim, verses 1 through 18, and it reads, These are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you are going to enter and possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your power and keep all his statutes and commands which I command you and your son and your grandson, all the yamim of your life, and that your yamim may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yasharal, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah power of your Abbas has promised you in the land that flows with milk and honey. Shema Yasharal, Yahuwah our power, Yahuwah is Akkad. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah our supreme one, Yahuwah is Akkad. And you shall ahab Yahuwah your supreme one with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this yom shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, to fall, to bind to the mind. And you shall write them upon the posts of your bed and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuwah your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore to your Abbas, to Abraham, Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great cities which you did not build, houses full of all great things which you filled not, wells dug which you did not dig, excuse me, and vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahuwah, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the bed of slavery. You shall fear Yahuwah your power and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. Not these. For Yahuwah your power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of Yahuwah your power be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuwah your power as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuwah your power, and his testimonies, and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yahuwah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the land which Abba Yahuwah sworn to your Abbas, and it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Let us have a song, please. Yeah, song.
How great is Yahuwah? Sing with me. How great is Yahuwah? All will see how great is Yahuwah. Come on, sing with me. How great
how great is Yahuwah. All will see how great, how great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. And you are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. Yes, you are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will see how great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will see how great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. And you are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. And you are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. Yes, you are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. You are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the name above all names. You are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing. How great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great is Yahuwah. Singing, oh, how great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great is Yahuwah. You're the name above all names. You're the the name above all names.
And you are worthy
You are worthy of our praise.
and our hearts will sing.
And our hearts will sing how great is Yahuwah.
You're the name above all names.
You're the name above all names.
And you are worthy
You are worthy of our praise.
and our hearts will sing.
And our hearts will sing how great is Yahuwah.
Singing, oh, how great.
How great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great,
How great.
how great is Yahuwah.
Singing, oh, how great.
How great is Yahuwah. Sing with me, how great is Yahuwah. All will sing, how great,
How great.
how great is And we do appreciate him for all that he's doing, all that he's done, and all that he's yet going to do. Yahush, the son of Nun, chapter 1, verses 7 and 8. And we're going to read verse 7 and then we're going to recite verse 8. Only be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. Verse 8. Let us recite this together. I will not let this scroll of the Torah
I will not let the scroll of the Torah
depart out of my mouth,
depart out of my mouth,
but I shall meditate in it,
but I shall meditate in it,
Yom and Layla,
Yom and Layla,
that I may observe to do,
that I may observe to do,
according to all that is written in it.
according to all that is written in it.
For then I shall make my way prosperous,
For then I shall make my way prosperous,
and then I shall act wisely.
and then I shall act wisely.
Now look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, and you shall act wisely.
And you shall act wisely.
Look at your other neighbor, tell your other neighbor, and you shall act wisely.
And you shall act wisely.
Take your hand and place it over your heart and say, Abba Yahuwah,
Abba Yahuwah,
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
Abba Yahuwah,
Abba Yahuwah,
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
I endeavor
to
act wisely.
to act wisely.
I endeavor to act wisely.
to act wisely.
I endeavor to act wisely.
to act wisely.
Come on, one more time. I endeavor to act wisely.
to act wisely.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. It is my heart's desire, and it is my goal, and it is my responsibility to act wisely, just as it is yours. And it is so.
And it is so.
Let's have another song, please.
I will Baruch Yahuwah, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Baruch His holy I will Baruch Yahuwah, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Baruch His holy within me. I will Baruch Yahuwah, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Baruch his I will Baruch Yahuwah, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Baruch his
Come on, Baruch, get Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He's worthy of all our praise. He's worthy of all our esteem. No rehearsal. This is not a test run. This is not a practice. This is not performance. It is about adoring him. It is about praising him. It is about worshiping him. It is about bearing our souls before him. It is about allowing him to know, which he already knows, how much we need him, how much we want him, how much we adore him. It is about expressing ourselves through praise and worship, letting him know we can't make it without him. The song says, I'm nothing without you. We're nothing without him. Without him, we wouldn't exist. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are to young. And so we owe him praise. We owe him everything. And it is so.
And it is so.
Mishley 15:8, the sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination, hateful, and exceedingly offensive unto you, Abba Yahuwah. But the prayer of the upright is your delight. Mishley 3:4, so shall you find great understanding and high esteem in the sight of judgment of Yahuwah and man. And it is so.
And it is so.
To heal him 1:1, Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the unrighteous, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the instructions of Abba Yahuwah, and he doth meditate upon it, and it is so.
And it is so.
Ibram 11:6, but without belief it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahuwah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And it is so.
And it is so.
To heal him 34:15, the eyes of Yahuwah are upon the upright, and his ears are open unto our cry. Verse 17, the upright cry, Yahuwah heareth and delivereth us out of all our troubles. And it is so.
And it is so.
Masa 1:8, but we shall receive power after that. The Ruach Kodesh has come upon us, and we shall be witnesses unto him both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Shamar and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And it is so.
And it is so.
Ayah 33:4, the Ruach Kodesh of Yahuwah hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. Somebody say he's a life giver.
He's a life giver.
He's a life giver. Micah 3:8, but truly I am full of power by the Ruach Kodesh of Yahuwah and of judgment and of might to declare unto Yaakov his transgression and to Yasharal his sin. And it is so.
And it is so.
Let us have another song, please. Can I do anything with that?
It's in him do I live, move, and have my being. In him do I live, move, and have my being. In him do I live, move, and have my being. In him do I live, move, and have my being. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I said I'm nothing without you. 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 Nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I said I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. So breathe through me. Live in me. Let your rusting rain in me. Breathe through me. Live in me. Let your rusting rain in me. Breathe through me. Live in me. Let your rusting rain in me. Said I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. Yeah, I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. Said I'm nothing without you. 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 Nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I said I'm nothing without you. 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 Nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. Yeah, I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. So breathe through me. Live in me. Let your rusting rain in me. Breathe through me. Live in me. Let your rusting rain in me. Said I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. Yeah, I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I said I'm nothing without you. 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 Nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I said I'm nothing without you. 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 Nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. Yeah, I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. So breathe through me. Live in me.
enough. We say it, we can't say it enough. His words are nothing without him. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Yehukanan Aleph. I'm sorry, Yehukanan Bet 5 Aleph. Yehukanan Aleph 5. Chapter 5, verses 3 through 15. For this is the Ahab for Yahuwah, that we guard his commands, and his commands are not difficult, because everyone having been begotten of Yahuwah overcomes the world. And this is the overcoming that has overcome the world, our belief. Who is the one who overcomes the world but he who believes that Yahush is the son of Yahuwah? This is the one that came by water and blood. Yahush Mashiach, not only by water, but by water and blood. And it is the Ruach who bears witness, because the Ruach is the truth. Because there are three who bear witness, the Ruach and the water and the blood, and the three are in agreement. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Yahuwah is greater, because this is the witness of Yahuwah which he has witnessed concerning his son. The one who believes in the Son of Yahuwah has the witness in himself. The one who does not believe in Yahuwah has made him a liar, because he has not believed the witness that Yahuwah has given concerning his son. Concerning his son. And this is the witness that Yahuwah has given us, eternal life. And this life is in his Son. He who possesses the Son possesses life. He who does not possess the Son of Yahuwah does not possess life. I have written this to you who believe in the name of the Son of Yahuwah, so that you know that you possess everlasting life, and so that you believe in the name of the Son of Yahuwah. And this is the boldness that we have in him, that if we ask whatever according to his desire, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we have asked of him. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. And it is so.
And it is so.
All right, let's turn our attention to our affirmations, then our declaration, and then the sealing of our praise, prayer, and worship. And it is so.
And it is so.
All right, repeat this with me. I purpose to develop my Ruach.
I purpose to develop my Ruach.
I purpose to walk in the light of Torah.
I purpose to walk in the light of Torah.
I am Ibram.
I am Ibram.
I am born again.
I am born again.
I am Ibram.
I am Ibram.
I have the life and nature of Yahuwah.
I have the life and nature of Yahuwah
In my Ruach.
in my Ruach.
That life is the Torah
That life is the Torah
of Yasharal.
of Yasharal.
I purpose to walk in the Torah of life.
I purpose to walk in the Torah of life.
Yahuwah's Torah.
Yahuwah's Torah.
Yahush.
Yahush
Is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's knowledge.
Yahuwah's knowledge
Is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's Ahab.
Yahuwah's Ahab
Is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's power.
Yahuwah's power
Is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's wisdom.
Yahuwah's wisdom
Is in me.
is in me.
Yahuwah's wisdom.
Yahuwah's wisdom
Is in me.
is in me.
He is teaching me.
He is teaching me.
He is leading me.
He is leading.
I am a child of Yahuwah.
I am a child of Yahuwah.
The Ruach Kodesh
The Ruach HaKodesh
of Yahuwah in me is leading me.
of Yahuwah in me is leading me.
I'll follow her leading.
I'll follow her leading.
I'll walk in the Torah.
I'll walk in the Torah.
Yahush.
Yahush,
Our Mashiach.
our Mashiach.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Now let us do our declaration of healing and shalom. Repeat with me. Abba Yahuwah.
Abba Yahuwah,
In the name of Yahush.
in the name of Yahush,
Our Mashiach.
our Mashiach,
We subdue ignorance.
we subdue ignorance
With Torah knowledge.
with Torah knowledge.
And through this knowledge.
And through this knowledge
Of Torah truth.
of Torah truth,
We claim healing.
we claim healing,
Shalom.
shalom,
Deliverance.
deliverance,
And salvation.
and salvation.
We decree
We decree
Torah truth
Torah truth
in the lives
in the lives
of your people,
of your people,
our people,
our people,
Yasharal.
Yasharal.
We unite,
We unite,
not to fight,
not to fight,
not to fight
not to fight
each other,
each other,
each other,
each other,
but the enemy
but the enemy
of our belief.
of our belief.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Let us now stand before our King and let us bow before him together. as we recite this. Let us bow before him. Repeat with me. May the utterance of my mouth
May the utterance of my mouth
and the deliberation of my heart
and the deliberation of my heart
be desirable before you,
be desirable before you,
O Yahuwah,
O Yahuwah,
my rock
my rock
and my redeemer.
and my redeemer.
May the utterance of my mouth
May the utterance of my mouth
and the deliberation of my heart
and the deliberation of my heart
be desirable before you,
be desirable before you,
O Yahuwah,
O Yahuwah,
my rock
my rock
and my redeemer.
and my redeemer.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
We have just recited Tehillim 19 and 14. And it is so. Come on, put your hands together. Praise him. You may be seated in his presence. As we turn our attention to the writings on this Layla, we do give Abba Yahuwah a how and our undivided attention for such a time as this to be informed, not entertained, to be encouraged, to be instructed, which I find is very important, especially in these final hours, that we be instructed and that we not be all over the place, and which many of our people, in spite of it, it is what it is. But we do give Abba Yahuwah all praise and esteem for that what he's doing and that what he's yet going to do, because we know, according to the writings, that there is a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof is death.
That's right.
And we don't want to have a death sentence over our lives because we are failing to comprehend or comply to his instructions for our lives.
That's right.
It is so much going on, and if we're not careful, we will be caught up in that vacuum of things that are taking place that are very unhealthy for our belief and unhealthy for us as a people. I am a stickler for order, and I believe that leadership is of importance, especially when Yahuwah's desire and his goal and command for our lives, and yes, I said goal for our lives, is for us to be a people united, and that we are doing everything the same way and not all over the place. And so it is important that we understand that it takes adhering to his instructions for us to get there. It's not popular because everybody doesn't want to hear that, because, people like being lone rangers and people like being out there doing their own thing. But there's coming a time, and that time is right now, to where we're going to have to give account of for how we've lived and how we have done things. And if we find ourselves outside of that, we're going to find ourselves being judged, and in a way that we probably are thinking not. What do I mean by that? It is important that we do everything, and I mean everything, according to his instructions for our lives. Seek him while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Have belief, and have strong belief in him.
That's right.
Not just a belief to get by, because it's not going to be enough just to get by. We need to make sure that our lamps are burning bright and that we have the oil that's necessary to make it on to the next level.
Right.
That's not my topic on this Layla, but it is important that I encourage you to maintain your consistency and maintain your belief, no matter what, your practical beliefs. Believe, and when I say practical, I'm talking about the instructions of Abba Yahuwah. One of the things that I found, and we're going back on this Layla, back into the Torah portions, is that one thing about the Torah portions is that they keep us unified. They keep us in sync. They keep us united together as one. And it's important that we find ourselves doing this. It's important that we find ourselves striving to be one, striving to be like a hand in a glove, a foot in a sock, a foot in a shoe. It is important that we strive to do that because this is the ultimate goal of Yahushua. This is why he came, to unite us back with the Abba. But we can't be united to him until we are united with one another.
That's right.
And so this is important for us to understand. Once again, not popular, because people want to be told, okay, it's all right for you to live and do whatever you want. It's all right for you to do what you do. That's not it, because if that was the case, then he would have never brought us out of the life that we once lived and brought us into this life. Right. So just to encourage you once again, to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in his instructions, and holding on and not letting go. See, because you have to understand, we ain't seen tough times yet. Right. We have not. And so it is important that we hold on and that we strengthen ourselves in this time while we can be strengthened, while we have everything basically at our fingers, our fingertips, not our fingertips, at our hands. Because at your fingertips mean you can barely grab it. But while it's within hands, within our grip and within our reach, let us do all that we need to do to hold on to it and maintain our consistency. Very important to do so. And like I said, just to encourage you as we prepare to get in the class, concerning the writings, you have to understand, and it may not, people may not like what I'm going to say, but it is of importance that we understand. You have to understand when you go back and you read in the writings, and as we continue to move forward, we're going to see that there were designated people that were supposed to have the authority and hold the key to the writings. That's right. It was not put in everybody's hands. And I'm not going to say common people. I'm going to say it was not put in everybody's hands because everybody was not mature enough to be able to decipher it. And I know, those that will come and say, well, no, but he said that every man would be, no man would teach anyone, but everyone would learn of their own accord. And that's true. But you have to understand, learning of your own accord still means that you have an instructor.
That's right.
You must have an instructor. And so that is important for us to understand. And like I say, I know it is not popular, but you have to understand when you know what you've been called to do, you're going to rub some folk the wrong way. Right. And that's why it is important that we understand leadership, and we understand the importance of connecting. I said it before. And as we continue to read, you're going to see the importance of connecting. You're going to see the importance of community. You're going to see all those things wrapped up in the writings. Our theme this Shabbat is Toldot. Toldot. And it means generations. So we're going to look at the generations. And it is important that as we look at the generations, that we find that place, as I've said before, how do we bring it into our time to where we can apply it to our lives? How can we look at it and say, hey, I can apply that to me right where I am? Very important for us to understand that, and very important for us to be able to take it out of the book and apply it to our everyday lives. This is why it is important that we understand the function of his instructions for our lives.
That's right.
Very important. And so we're going to begin at chapter 5 of Bereshit. And we're going to begin at verse 19. And we're going to read 8 verses. Once again, this is talking about the generations. And very important for us to listen attentively. Because once again, every time I read it, I find and see something different because he's going to always reveal more to us. The more he can trust us with, the more he will expose us to, and the more he will release to us. And that takes maturity, and that takes time. Now, you have to understand something. When I say time, I'm not talking about, well, when, I'm getting there and, and I'm just basically doing what I need to do. No, I'm talking about making sure you're in a position or the position, not just a position, but being in the position to be able to mature according to the way that he has prescribed us to mature. And it is so. All right, let's begin at verse 19, chapter 25, and let's read 8 verses. Mhm.
Section chapter 25, starting in verse 19. Verse
8.
And this is the genealogy of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham brought forth Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rivkah his wife, his Isha, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Aramean. And Isaac prayed to Yahuwah for his Isha, because she was barren. And Yahuwah answered his prayer, and Rivkah his Isha conceived. And within her the children struggled together, and she said, if all is right, why am I this way? So she wants to ask Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 people shall be separated from your body. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older serve the younger. And when the days were filled for her to give birth and see, twins were in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment, so they called his name Esau. And afterward his brother came out with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So his name was called Yaakov. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. And the boys grew up, and Esau became a man knowing how to hunt, a man of the field, while Yaakov was a complete man dwelling in tents. And Isaac ahaved Esau because he ate of his wild game, but Rivkah ahaved Yaakov.
And it is so. All right. Verse 19. Now we see how things have changed. Once again, we're looking at generations. And gives us the generations. The generation of Isaac. That is Yaakov and Esau. The life story of Isaac, the events of which his Yam or Yamim gave birth. Of his Yamim gave birth. Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac after his name was changed to Abraham. He begot Isaac. Another explanation, although the text states Abraham's son, it was necessary to add Abraham begot Isaac because scoffers allege that Isaac was Abimelech's son. But Yahuwah calls Isaac's features to resemble Abraham, so that it was evident to all that Abraham begot Isaac. The intention is that of all Abraham's sons, the one that really counted was Isaac. Some maintain that the meaning is Abraham brought up Isaac. So you got the different renderings. Like I say, scoffers, and we know that there are scoffers even today. Right. And so you can kind of understand why this could be truly acceptable. Why? Because once again, here it is. He is old, up in age, and so is Sarah up in age. And so who will believe in depending on how she carried the baby? Right. If she showed enough where people could do it, or even if they were around her to be able to see the duration of the 9 months. So once again, you have to understand there's always going to be somebody out there that has something foolish to say. But when it's all said and done, Yahuwah will always get the esteem, and he will always make sure that what he has said and what he has purposed, all nations will know. Right. So once again, it's important to understand the rendering and also understand the textual context or how the text is brought out.
That's right. Very important.
All right. Now, 40 years old when he took Rivkah. She was then young, for Sarah died at the age of 127, which was 37 years after his birth, and her death followed soon after his sacrifice, at which time Rivkah was born. Okay. And so she was very young, but I don't think she was this young. Yeah. At the place of the marriage, okay? Now, I'm going to read it, and it's probably going to blow many of people's minds because, you know, they marry off those children, those young ladies over in those countries very young. But they said at the time of her marriage, according to this, she was 3 at her marriage, 3 years of age. But that can't be because she got down off of a horse, right, or a camel, and asked who this man was.
3.
Yeah. Now, and or we could put it like, in other words, what is the betrothal? That at her birth, he was betrothed. She was betrothed to him when she turned 3. But there is no way that I would believe that she would be with him, and he's 40-something years old, and she's just a baby. Some have even said that she was 10 years of age. I would believe that she was a young lady. I would say even in her teens. And this is why many of the theologians believe that it took her a minute to conceive because she was young. But I don't believe she was that young, because you're not going to make me believe that Yahuwah sanctioned 10-year-olds being married to 40-year-olds. I don't believe that. That's something in their twisted, demented minds. But I do believe she was young, but I don't believe she was that young. You have young ladies that marry older men. You have ladies today that their ish are 25 years older than them, and so forth. And so it is important that we understand. Once again, you got to look at the interpreter's view.
That's right.
Because what they're doing is they're going back in the writings where it says that his remember, after Sarah, it is recorded that his brother wife also had children. Are you following? So it's likely, once again, that is the reason why they're using that, but the timetable can't be possibly right. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
So once again, I believe that she was a young lady, and I believe she was young enough to where, once again, remember when she decided to go and she went